Hello my dear children, how are you all today? I hope you all are fit and fine. So children, for today's English lesson, we are going to start the first chapter from your Mastering Grammar book. And this chapter, this topic that we are going to start is the very basic concept from grammar. Okay, you might be having some knowledge about it, but still when you speak, when you talk in English, you cannot frame them properly. That's why you need to learn what we categorize as the sentence and what we cannot classify as sentence. So some group of words which are arranged in such a manner that it can mean something is called something. Now we will be reading some group of words and we will find out how to make or how can we identify the topic for today, the sentence. Okay, so let's begin with the lesson. First children, I want you to read this group of words here. Okay, so we will start with reading these group of words that I will read the following group of words. Number 1, book the mind table on the. Okay. So children, if you read this, you will find there is something strange about it. It doesn't form any meaning, right? It doesn't make any sense. So this one, book the mind table on the, although they are group of words, although they are individually some words which mean something like table, on, the, these can mean something individually, but when we are placing them in this way, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't mean anything. So what are we supposed to do? Now let's see the second group of words, in the pond. Okay. Now with these group of words, do you understand anything? Like in the pond, what's in the pond? What is happening in the pond? Is there some fish? Is there some man in the pond or some ship sailing? Nothing, right? No boat, no ship, nothing. So what's happening in the pond is not clear. It makes sense, but it doesn't make complete sense. Now in the first group of words here, this doesn't make sense at all because the words are not arranged properly. Doesn't make sense. Okay. And in this one, in the second one, it does make sense. Makes sense. But not complete sense. In the pond, we understand something, that's there's something in the pond, or we want to talk about the pond, but what do we want to talk about the pond? Does make sense, but not complete sense. So in both of these group of words, we can see that first one is not a sentence and second one also is not a sentence. Now, how can we identify that the group of words are sentence or not? Now we will read one more sentence after this, okay? So the sentence is, Ravi slept on the bed. Okay. So if you see that this sentence, right, it means something. It means what? That the character, the subject Ravi slept on the bed. Okay. So some sentences, even if I ask you a question, what is your name? Very basic. This is a basic question, you know. Right. So it is very clear that the words are arranged in order. They are not puzzled. They are not jumbled. Like if I had written this one, your name is, or what is, this would be grammatically wrong, wouldn't make much sense, okay? It wouldn't make sense. So this one is wrong and this one is right. So this qualifies as a sentence. So with this, we will be moving ahead to writing the definition of a sentence. You have understood what I told, that a sentence is a group of words that make sense and complete sense, okay? Which means what? It should have a meaning and it should make sense. So a sentence is a group of words that make complete sense. So we will be writing the definition really quickly and then we will get into some new learning, okay? So with this, our sentence is a group of words that make complete sense. For example, she is my aunt, okay? Please give me a glass of water. Where are you going? The sun rises in the east. And so on. Because obviously when we speak or when we write, we use the group of words systematically in order to mean something. If your words are not clear, if you do not make a proper sense, then the group of words are just group of words and they cannot be called a sentence, okay? They cannot form a sentence. So children, here is the definition of the sentence and a few examples. We will be doing more. And with this, I'll tell you some of the characteristic of a correct sentence, okay? The group of words which can be called a sentence has to have some features, okay? They will have to have some important characteristics. Now we will find out what are those. Now the first feature that we are going to learn about sentence, a sentence has a verb, okay? So action word. Anything you do, whatever you are doing or what you have done is a verb. So every action, every work we do is a verb. So with this, you should remember that a correct sentence, group of words that can be called a sentence, should have a verb, okay? However, means it's the main component. Without it, no sentence, even the one word sentence, cannot be complete. Now it begins with a capital letter. Our second point is it will begin with a capital letter. Now you cannot write it like this one. The wedding was grand. You cannot write it this way because this T should be capital and not in small. What I told you, whenever you start a fresh sentence, whenever you are going to start a new sentence, you will have to use a capital letter. Okay, you will have to start it with a capital letter. So now moving with the third point, the words in a sentence are written in proper order. You remember the first example I gave you? I'll be giving that again so you can understand what I meant by the third point. Okay, the third characteristic. So the third point is the words in the sentences are written in proper order. So again, going to the same example that I gave you when I started the lesson, book the mind, table on the. Okay. These group of words, these words aren't arranged properly, right? So see, book the mind, table on the. Now if I had written, if this, I have taken this, the or this, the here, the book. Okay, now on first and then again one the, on the table is mine. Okay, so now this is correct and this cannot be classified as a sentence. This cannot be called a sentence because the words in this arrangement are not in proper order. So here in this arrangement, the group of words are not in order. That's why this is not called a sentence. But when I arrange it, when I have put all the words in order, the book on the table is mine. So this arrangement forms a proper sense, makes a proper sense, and this is called a sentence now. So the words in the sentence are written in proper order. By order, I meant this only, that the words should not be jumbled. It should mean something. It should come in such a way that it means something. Okay? Number 4. Now, fourth feature. A sentence has, I have already written a sentence, that's why I'm not writing a sentence here. What it has, a subject and a predicate. Now children, we will be learning about this, about a subject and what is a predicate in much more detail after I have told you the points. But for the time being, you should know that it has a subject and a predicate. Okay. Number 5. Remember this point 4 when I teach you about subject and predicate, because you should remember and you should be able to recall what I had taught you in the characteristic, that a sentence will be having a subject and a predicate. Okay, so last point but not the least, obviously, a sentence ends with, this will end with, our sentence is already here, ends with either a full stop, this punctuation mark, then a question mark, this punctuation, and or using sentences since a long time when we have started talking or when we have started writing our answers, right? So you should have seen, you must have seen that the sentences end in either full stop or question mark or exclamation mark. The fourth characteristic of a sentence is this only, that they will be ending in a full stop, exclamation mark or a question mark. We will be learning about the usage of these punctuation marks later when we learn about the different kinds of sentences. Okay. Now moving to another term in sentence only. This is a part of a sentence only, which is called a phrase. Now children, do you remember the second sentence which I asked you to read in the beginning of the letter? In the pond. Do you remember that? I hope so, because that's not quite long back, right? So I just asked you, so you should know it. Now these words, in a pond, okay, at the station, with the spoon, a good student, in spite of. Do you see words are also used here? So let me number it: A, B, C, D and E. Here also, like in sentences, I have used certain words, certain group of words. In the first one, in a pond, I have used 3 words. At the station, 3 words again. With a spoon, 3 words. A good student, 3 words. In spite of, 3 words. So some words are used in such a way that they do make sense, okay, but not complete sense. Okay, they will mean something if they are used with something else, some other group of words, but individually they do not mean everything. Individually they do not form complete sense. They are added to some group of words to make complete sense and hence make a sentence, but individually they are only incomplete. Okay, they make partial sense or they make incomplete sense. Such group of words in proper order is called a phrase. Okay, which will be making sense but not complete sense. You won't understand what is being told about the words, but you will understand that at least something is told about it. So here children, these kind of words when arranged in particular order is called a phrase. Now we will be looking at other group of word, okay, just to give you a better understanding of phrase. Played, park, the. Okay. We can see here we have a verb, okay. We have the subject, the noun, but it's not in order. So we cannot call this a sentence in the first sense. Now in the second sense also, it cannot be called a phrase also. Why? Because it is not in a proper order. It is jumbled up. So you don't call this one a phrase or a sentence. So for group of words to qualify to be called phrases, they will also have to be in correct order. So remember this, okay? Now moving to the next one. You have to underline the phrase, okay? It's the first exercise of your chapter. We have now begun with the understanding of the concept. I have already taught you what phrases are. We are going to underline the phrase with this 4 sentences, okay? So let's get started. Number 1, underline the phrase. Children, till I write the questions, I want you to at least look at your book and try to find out the group of words that can qualify as phrases. Okay? The garden was full. The garden was full of red roses. She is always in a hurry. Number 3. The water is not fit for drinking. Fit for drinking. And number 4. In spite of starting late, we reached in time. So children, here are the 4 sentences that we need to read for underlining the phrases. So the garden was full of red roses. Now if you look carefully, if you observe it, the garden was full. Till here, the sentence is almost complete. Okay, it makes complete sense. The garden was full, but of what? Means you can see phrases are actually a part of sentences only. Okay, so if you observe carefully, the garden was full of red roses. Last one, of red roses, these 3 words are the group of words that we need to call a phrase. Okay, so let me use another color so that it can be highlighted in a better way. So of red roses, this part you can see that if we use this individually, it's when it's added to the words the garden was full, then the meaning of it is complete. But individually, but if we take it separately, that doesn't mean anything. Means it means something, it makes sense but not complete sense. That's why from here the phrase is of red roses. So we are going to underline it and not box it. That's why I'll just remove the box, okay? And we are going to underline it. Of red roses. She is always in a hurry. Now she is always doesn't make sense, okay? And in a hurry needs this one to make complete sense. She is always in a hurry. So here the phrase is in a hurry and not she is always. So this must be underlined. Okay. Now the water is not fit for drinking. Here you can see the water is not fit is complete in its own way. Okay. But when you add for drinking, the meaning is complete then. So here also we can underline for drinking as the phrase. In spite of starting late, we reached in time. Now here we have 2 phrases. In spite of starting late, in spite of is the phrase here. Starting late, we reached in time. So here in time is also a phrase. Now children, particularly if you observe, you will see every phrase here has started with a preposition. So this is the most common type of phrase that we know of. That phrases will usually begin with a preposition. Now with preposition you should know like in, at, on. You have learnt it in your primary class, right? Primary classes. So these words, the prepositions, are usually placed in a phrase and you will understand it by the sight of it. So here also of red roses, of, in a hurry, in, for drinking, for, and in spite of actually is a preposition itself, and then in time, in. So these these group of words actually we have seen is beginning with a preposition. Okay, so we know that phrases are mostly composed of prepositions only. They will have prepositions in them. Now moving to the second one, tick the group of words that are sentence. Now let's read it. Will not be. Is it making complete sense? No. Will not be what? It's just as if something means from a bigger sentence we have just taken a few words and we have just written it. It's not making complete sense. So this will be crossed. That means this won't be ticked. I am very glad that you came. Okay. I think this will be I am very glad. This will be right only. If that's I am very glad. So the first one will not be. Take the group of words that are sentence. So here are some group of words that you have to identify their sentences or not. That are sentences. Will not be. So this is the second one. Will not be. So this is not a sentence. Number 2. I am very glad. That you came. Now children, you can observe it well that I am very glad that you came makes a complete sense. The words are in correct order and it is meaning something. So I am very glad that you came is a sentence. You are going to put a tick right here. Now number 3. How long have you been staying here? This is a question. How long have you been So there is a question mark. So it qualifies as a sentence because if the question mark would be absent, we would have told that it is not a sentence because we know that a sentence has to end with a full stop, a question mark or an exclamation mark. So number 4 now. What a beautiful dress. So this is a sentence. It is actually expressing the joy of finding a beautiful dress. This sentence is expressing that joy only. It is a number 5. No one has gone. So children, there is no full stop, nothing. So this cannot be qualified as a sentence. No one has gone where? The meaning is half complete. That means it doesn't make complete sense. That's why also no punctuation is used, no question mark, no full stop and no exclamation mark. So here also we can see that this is not a sentence. 6. It is a probability. It is a probability also doesn't have a full stop, doesn't have a question mark and also what is the probability? Nothing is complete here. So this is also not qualifying to be called as a sentence. Moving to the 7th question. India's victory. doesn't make a complete sense. It's just incomplete. It's lacking the verb. I told you it has to have a verb, right? So India's victory is just two words. Okay, this group of words is just two words, and it doesn't have a verb, so it is not a sentence. I told you that a sentence must have a verb. Now number 8. I enjoyed every moment of the game. I enjoyed, yes, here is a verb, enjoy. I enjoyed every moment of the game. So this is very much complete. It is making complete sense. It means something. It has also a verb. So yes, this is a sentence. Number 9. Please ask her to come inside. It's a request. Please ask her. Ask is the verb here. Ask her to come inside. To come is an infinitive verb. Her to come inside. So yes, this will qualify as a sentence because it has a verb and all the words are in correct order. Also the initial word has a capital P. So all the features of these group of words matches a sentence. Now he has gone to school. To school. So this is also complete. This to school is the phrase here. Has gone is the verb. He is the subject. So with everything, subject and predicate thing, this also qualifies as the sentence. Now children, with this, we have finished our lesson for today. I hope you got something to learn from this video lesson. Please do revise what you have learned and please try to get your concept clear. We will meet again in our next class. Till then, have a great day. Bye-bye.